if we break this one up because it's very strong. I mean, I don't mind doing it this way, you know, giving it to you all at once monetarily, but you know, you would just end up coming in and getting a bunch of healings from me if we did that. So you're going to end up paying that much anyways. So it's easier for me to just give it to you in bite-sized pieces, the way that it was meant to be swallowed. My very first round of Reiki Club, that's what we did. I gave them an opportunity and I said, okay, let me know if you want 1 level, 2 level, or 3. And everybody kept trying to compete with each other and being like, oh, just bring it, give me 3. And they went into just a massive clearing process after that. It was wild. I mean, it was like shortly after that 2020 happened and all this stuff. It was so funny. Not funny, but I can laugh about it now. Okay, here comes Liz. But it is this really beautiful, there she is. We can see you now. Hi, Liz. But whenever I do a Reiki share with these energies, people are just so drawn to it because it's such a high vibrational Reiki. It's one of the most popular ones. It's one that I tend to love to use on myself and on my clients. It's really, I use it as much as I use Usui, you know, and Usui is one of those, once you have it, you just, it's almost at every single healing, and then you trickle in some of the other symbols that we've been working with. But karuna, it's really necessary. It's really magical. It's just really strong, you know? So everybody's here. So we'll go ahead and drop into meditation just to create some sacred space before we go into class a little bit more. So everybody take some nice long deep breaths. And just let it all out. Exhale. Filling up the room with Reiki light, I'm going to draw in some karuna symbols. Rama, Rama, Rama. Rama, Rama, Rama. I'm going to draw some Usui symbols. Seiki, Seiki, Seiki. Chokure, Chokure, Chokure. So if you could just visualize your house filling up with light. We're going to honor the 4 directions, but we're going to do it Karuna Reiki style. So I'm going to be calling in some archangels, ascended masters, and archetypes of the divine feminine. So before us, we're going to call in Mother Mary, beautiful, compassionate mother. Behind us, we're going to call in Archangel Michael, guardian, defender. Beside us, to our left, we're going to call in Archangel Gabriel to help us clearing our karma, clearing our communication. Up above, I'm going to call in Ascended Master Saint Germain in the violet flame for transmuting, for clearing. And to the right, I'm going to call in Master Jesus, bringing in that blue ray, devotional, compassionate, spiritual teacher energy into the space. And below us, we're going to go ahead and release our grounding cord from the soles of our feet all the way down into the very center heart of Mother Gaia. We're going to wrap those roots around and around that core. And we're going to tie it in a knot or a bow gently and just pull back snugly, staying in that anchor. I'm going to start to call in some more of the karuna symbols we're going to be working with, and you'll be getting these in a little bit. So Zonar, Zonar, Zonar. Halu, Halu, Halu. Hearth, Hearth, Hearth. Rama, Rama, Rama. We're just going to ask for these vibrations to stay with us, holding space for us, for our process, for our healing work, for our teaching. We're going to ask for these beautiful spiritual masters to guide us in teaching and in learning about Karuna Reiki and about ourselves. and growing at a level that we can handle, that we're ready for, asking that all the energy and information that comes through, all of the guidance, all of the healing work, the level of intensity or volume of Reiki that comes in to be specific for each one of you in the highest good of all concerned. So we're only allowing in the love of spirit. And again, we're calling in Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Ascended Master Saint Germain, Ascended Master Jesus, Mother Mary, and Kuan Yin. So we're going to just allow you to just feel their presence and their supportiveness, honoring, compassion, and wisdom. We're going to ask for just a gentle clearing of energy. So I like to visualize Kuan Yin coming into the room, you know, wearing a long gown. Sometimes she rides in with dragons. We're going to allow the beautiful breath of fire to come in and clear the space. And just visualize the dragons just burning away any energy that needs to be shed or cut loose from our fields. Calling in the trumpet of Archangel Gabriel to clear our throats, help us to communicate what we need, clear our feed so that our signal is strong. Calling in Archangel Michael to only allow in that which would be in our highest good, holding space for us, gently releasing anything as it comes up to clear. Bringing in that blue ray with Master Jesus, keeping us all in divine alignment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Go ahead and blink open your eyes. Nice. All right, so here's some pictures just to let you see some of the beings that we're calling in. I love this one. This looks like Jesus is doing Reiki to me. It's kind of fun. And then Saint Germain with his sacred geometry there, all surrounded in a purple glow. Archangel Gabriel with the trumpet. And then Archangel Michael with his sword. So the divine feminine here. So you can see the dragon. Yeah, Mother Mary and Kuan Yin. All right. So, okay. All right. So we're going to share a little bit about what is karuna, where it comes from. All right. So we talked about the different beings already that worked with us to bring karuna to this channel. So this is William Lee Rand. And I did email you a photograph of him, and he's pretty well known as far as the Reiki community. So he's the senior Reiki master teacher and the president of, and the founder of a Reiki association where you can get a membership to it. And he created a corporation around Reiki called the ICRT, or the International Center for Reiki Training. So that is actually where I downloaded this book from. And Reiki Rays is a really, if you want to get a subscription to it, you can get a lot of these books for free. I sent some of them to Katie. Do you remember getting the one with the Usui symbols that I sent to you? And I think Liz ended up getting one of those too. There's lots of different books with different topics about Reiki, and they're already just pre-made and they're free. It's a really wonderful resource for us. So he's done a lot for the Reiki community. He travels around the world and does Reiki attunements inside of Stonehenge for people, things like that. He creates Reiki retreats. He's one of those Reiki teachers who studied metaphysics and then created like his own brand of his own style. He trademarked it and patented his own style of how to do Reiki, right? So when you learn from him, you have to do it exactly that way. So he has you promise that you're going to charge this exact amount of money and you're going to follow all of these exact steps and you're not going to veer from it at all. It's a formula that he's created. And the amount of time that you're going to share, and every time you talk about karuna, you need to put the little R, you know, that means it's registered. He's got a lot of rules around it, like a lot of rules. I did not go through him to learn karuna. So I learned about this after I'd already received karuna. And it's interesting because Liz is saying, oh, I got that in my Reiki level 2 class. And I have another student who got a couple of karuna symbols that way. And it was similar for me. I got a lot of karuna symbols in my Reiki level 2 class as well. My Reiki level 2 class was all of the Reiki Club lineages broken up in 3 attunements. And it was a really intense amount of symbols that we were given at one time. And I got almost all of the karuna symbols at that time. We got a few more with Reiki level 3. Then I sat there having this unbelievable healing experience with it that went on for 9 months. And you've heard me share this a million times. So I went in and I asked the Ascended Masters who brought through the Reiki how they wanted me to teach it. And they told me to break it down again, break it down in bite-sized pieces. So then I went back and I researched, you know, where do these come from? Who are these teachers? What are the different branches? What are the different lineages? And I studied it that way and I read up on it. One of the things that I did to read up on it was I bought this book. Okay, so it's a really nice book. It's not mandatory. It's called The Book on Karuna Reiki. You can get it right there on Amazon. It has a foreword by William Lee Rand, but it's actually written by Laurel Shanti Gaia. And it's Advanced Healing in Our Evolving World. But it's very well written. I really enjoyed learning about it. Lots of really wonderful exercises in here, pictures, charts. She talks about the angelic realm. She talks about toning. So I do a lot of toning naturally. I learned toning when I was doing a lot of Lemurian training that had nothing to do with Reiki, but I can understand they're very similar. There are these beings that come in and you'll hear them singing in the back of, I hear them singing when they come through me. And I've heard other teachers say the same thing who are channels. They can hear the tones wanting to come through. And if you allow the sound to come through, it will have a healing effect, and the energy comes through the voice when it happens, and it can feel like you're receiving a transmission through song. It's really beautiful, very siren-like when you hear about the mermaids and how they can do magical things with their voice to lure the sailors. And we're not luring anybody to the rocks, you know, out in the water. We're luring them back to health, but it's still very magical when I hear about the mermaids who could sing and had magical properties with their voices, right? So Karuna Reiki is very much that way. The way that they teach it in Karuna is they just have you chant the different names of the symbols, and we'll do that together at some point. But they have you say it like sort of like Zonar, Hearth, Rama, Halu, Zonar, Hearth, Ramu, Halu. And they have you do more of that type of chanting. But in this book, she actually talks about toning. And toning is different than saying the name of the symbol. Toning is hearing a pitch and matching it with your voice and actually following that and using that in your healing work, which is really helpful in breaking up blockages. So it'll help you break up your own blockages if you're the one singing. Our own voices are our own sound healing equipment that's built in, right? So you can hear a tone for a person, knowing that if you make this tone, that it's gonna, and you put your hands on them, draw the symbol and send the energy through, that it'll help break something up for them, right? And you can also use the wonderful healing tools if you're not comfortable using your voice. And sometimes you can use a healing bowl and your voice at the same time and try to use the tool to help open your own vocal cords. It's taken me years to do that with my voice. I've been training myself for a long period of time, but a lot of it started, again, after reading this book. This helped make sense out of it for me. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's why that was happening, because I was given all these Reiki symbols a long time ago. It happened later on. I started singing with it, and I think it's connected to this. So what I will say about this corporation, I do know Reiki masters who are very, very strong, faithful members of this corporation. And it's interesting. He has it set up to where if you were to take Reiki from him, he's got different teachers that work for the corporation. So you can take it from him and get a certain level of status in his corporation. And then you can take it from somebody else. Even though you've already taken it, you can take it again and get to this other level of status in their corporation. So it's really a great business plan for them. You know what I mean? Like your clients though, that's not gonna do anything for your clients. It just means that you want to go and travel the world with William Lee Rand and you want to be part of his corporation and you enjoy what they're all about. You know what I mean? But as far as being able to administer a karuna Reiki healing, it doesn't, to me, once you receive the symbols, you have them. There's no need to go and train with somebody else. You could if you wanted to. It's always fun to get a different perspective from different teachers, but once you have them and once you feel the energy and you know that it's there, retaking it again is just to hear another perspective, right? So what's happened since he originally brought through karuna Reiki, okay? And I'll get into that story in a little bit, but I want to get this part out in the open. He is now channeling a new karuna energy. He's also now channeling a new Usui energy, and it's very, very focused on Jesus. So he's got it all really focused that Jesus is his guide and Jesus is telling him how it needs to be done. And so he's sort of wiped the slate clean on this original version of karuna, which is very frustrating for a lot of people who spent a lot of money receiving karuna, like thousands of dollars going to his trainings and our teachers. And all of a sudden he says, we're doing this different now. We're going to start over. We're going to start from scratch. You now need to go back to Usui and take Usui Holy Fire 1, 2, 3 and karuna Holy Fire 1, 2, 3. And it's $1,045 for each level. Yeah. So there are a lot of people who are old school who are like, we're not going to do this. We're going to break off on our own. We're going to do our own thing with karuna. Okay. I don't really know. This is all hearsay for me, but I did go up onto the website and I did read the prices and I did look to see, can you even take karuna from them? No, they don't even offer it. They offer Holy Fire. And in order to be eligible for Holy Fire, I think you have to go through. He did say, I think if you were a Reiki master, you could go into Holy Fire. But again, I'm not part of that corporation. So I don't know if you have to take Usui over again, or if you can just go into karuna. But even if you were to go into karuna, it's $1,045 for level 1, for level 2, and I believe level 3. He also says that you need to have this booster to be able to do it virtually. I've been doing this virtually for a long time and it's not true for me. So the booster is $345. So that's a lot of money. It's a really great, he also does a lot of stuff for free. Okay. But I want this to be out in the open so that we're being honest here. I never signed any of these documents saying that I would do it this way. I didn't even know about it. I had already received karuna from my teacher at an accredited school. It was Healing Hands School of Holistic Health. And I received all of them. I had been using them for years. And then I learned about this. Okay. So I just want to be upfront with you guys, just in case you run across somebody who is a part of this because it's very famous. So karuna is extremely famous. So I want you to be educated so that you know what you're talking about. So if you do end up with a client who comes to you for karuna, you're educated about the history a little bit, because some people really, this means a lot to them. The levels of the corporation, they've invested a lot of money, a lot of time, and this is how they feel like their business has some credentials. It's anyway. So just something to know. I received Reiki for a certain amount of money when I got it. So I'm just passing it on at the same rate that I paid, pretty much. When I break it down, I'm spending more time with you guys. When I received Reiki all in one big chunk like that, I had to go home and sift through a lot of this material myself. So I'm spending more time with you by breaking it up into Reiki Club, but I'm following the guidance that came through when I tuned into spirit. So I welcome you to follow your guidance and teach it how you want to teach it. There are people that do include these symbols with a Reiki level 2 class, but what I will say is often they have a bigger emotional clearing, because Reiki level 2 Usui is when you get the emotional healing symbol, and that's when you're going to have a lot of emotional healing. Shadow work is an emotional healing process as well. So when you combine the two of those things at the same time, it usually creates more of an emotional healing reaction from the students that have talked to me. Okay, so all right, the other thing about karuna is you need to be a Reiki master usually, according to him and according to most people, to go into karuna. So, you know, it's hard for me to say that, saying that because I wasn't a Reiki master. I got a lot of them at Reiki level 2. So is it possible to get it at level 2? Yes. Traditionally speaking though, when you read about it, it's at the next tier. So Usui is the first band of Reiki. The next band up, higher vibration, is karuna, 1, 2, and 3. And then the next band up is Lightarian. So there's these different levels. Now, if you're working with somebody who is really inundated in the 3rd dimension, they're real physical, they have a 9-to-5 job, they are dipping their toe in the water spiritually, but they're not doing a lot of meditation or yoga or anything like that, and they're new, they're actually going to feel Usui Reiki more than they're going to feel Karuna or Lightarian or any of these others. Why? Because it's closer to their vibration. It's the first band of Reiki. It's closer to their vibration. If you go and you work on somebody who has been meditating a lot, who does yoga all the time, sometimes Reiki isn't going to be that big of a jump for them if you give them Usui. It's just going to match a little bit of where they're already at. It might feel nice, but it's not going to really shift them, right? So they needed a stronger, there needs to be like a next step, right? Because we're continuously raising our vibration. We're on this ascension path. So there needs to be another level. If you give somebody a level up here and they have not developed their chakras enough to actually reach up and feel the energy up here, it might just skip right over. They might not be able to connect with it yet. They just might not be ready for it yet, right? So it might not penetrate. But if you're dealing with somebody who's already open and have activated some of their ascension chakras and they're ready to receive it up here, then it's going to be really powerful for them. So in Lightarian Reiki, there's a chart that comes with the booklet that talks about it in this way. So traditionally, in more than one of the channelings that I've seen, Karuna Reiki came through after Usui Reiki because the world needed a different vibration. And traditionally, when you have a level 3, then you're eligible to go into Karuna 1, 2, and 3. I've never met anyone who took Karuna at a level 1. That I haven't experienced, like without having any Usui, just starting with Karuna. Usually it's already somebody who's had some kind of Reiki training that gets introduced to Karuna. So those are some of the rules around it. Yeah, so that's why I sent it out in the email, just to explain it that way. He also has you register. So at the corporation, at the ICRT, once you have done all these things, paid this certain amount of money, and there's also a certain way that he has you do the attunement, which he's now changed. He had everybody doing the attunement in a very specific way, and then he changed it. Because I've had students who are up to date with his corporation and do it that way, and they've told me now he doesn't have you do the attunements with certain hand symbols or anything. He does it meditation style. So he does it in a big, long meditation without even doing all these hand positions, is the way that my students have told me that he's doing it. Again, I did not take his classes. So the holy fire is transmitted through a meditation now. This had a very specific way of working with 3 of the master symbols that are offered in Karuna. what else did I want to share with you about this? Oh, you get registered. So once you follow all his suggestions, then you kind of you sign up promising that you're going to follow all this, and then you get to be registered. At that time, you can order materials from his website. And so the book looks something like this. And this is his master teacher guide, which a lot of people are selling on Amazon now. You can find them secondhand. They're great books, and I love the books that he's written. I think they're really well put together. The only issue that I have with it is that I'm a channel. So as a channel, it's very challenging for me to follow somebody's 1, 2, 3 steps exactly, because Spirit's going to work the way that Spirit works with me. Your spirit guides are going to work with you the way Spirit works with you. And it was the same for William Lee Rand. So what works really great for William Lee Rand, if somebody is just following it logically with their mind, trying to memorize a formula, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be listening to Spirit very well. They're going to be following the rules. And spiritual work, you need to be able to listen to Spirit in all of the teachings that I do. So I know that Spirit guided me to the right teacher, who is also a channel, who was able to give me the symbols so that I could work with the energy the way that Spirit had me work with that, without any restrictions on me. She didn't put any restrictions on me. She just taught me the symbols and knew that Spirit was going to guide me. And I feel really blessed to have received it that way. If you're guided to this school to take karuna, then chances are you were guided here to take it this way, and you get to have some more freedom with it. But I just wanted to be really upfront. So does anybody have any questions about where karuna comes from? No. And is everybody okay with doing it a little bit differently than they do in the ICRT? Everyone's okay? Okay. All right, great. All right, so no surprises there. Okay, so some of the symbols that I love this energy. This is one of my favorite Reikis. All of that aside, I hold the man in very high esteem. He brought through a beautiful lineage. He really did. And when you read about the way that he brought it through, it reminds me of our Ananda Ray class, where we got the symbol and we were all in meditation and we were all bringing through our own symbols and then listening to Spirit and piecing together how this was meant to be given. And he had to experiment with it until he found a way to market it, trademark it. He tried lots of different ways of attunements until he found his style. And it's that way with any new healing modality. When you're channeling, you know, you continuously, Spirit will give you a little bit more information, right? So, okay, we're going to start with hearth. Okay, just explaining hearth, the symbol. So in your book, it tells you how to draw it, and we'll draw it together once you've had the attunement and experience the energy today. But it works with the heart chakra. So emotional or physical issues with the heart. It removes any blockages, uproots fears, and so it fills the empty space afterwards with compassionate love. It heals broken relationships. It helps one experience unconditional love. It develops self-love. It dissolves things like addiction, suicidal tendencies. It protects from all forms of psychic attack, and it sustains fundamental change in our life. It's a wonderful energy. If you ever have people come in to get readings from you and they're having relationship issues, this is always the good symbol to bring through. Yeah. And it could be romantic love or it could be family relationships. But, you know, anytime you are wanting to shift, and when we're going through an ascension process, one of the hardest things about it, which is happening with one of my students right now, is your vibration changes. And when your vibration changes, you're sometimes not a match to the people that you used to be a match for. And sometimes these people have to fall away. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was doing something positive for my life, and I lost a bunch of these people that used to mean so much to me, and they go. And it's hard, you know, to go through that change. Sometimes you have to sell your house and, you know what I mean, go through all these changes. Sometimes it's, you know, but then when it goes, you get to get what you are really meant to be connecting with. And it's harder to actually stay in a lower vibration just to be with that person, right? So when that's going on, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. So using this, it helps to soothe that transformation and that transition with both people. Okay, so that's great. This is the shadow work symbol. This is Halu. This creates a laser beam towards whatever it is that's causing the underlying condition. It's like, you know, it sends a laser beam to the underlying condition that's causing whatever it is that's going on in your life, either physically, emotionally, spiritually, monetarily, whatever it is. This is going to go right to the root of the problem, like a laser. It restores balance physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, brings about deep healing, breaks up negative patterns, dissolves the ego, helps one to see and accept the truth, strengthens the solar plexus, clears blockages from all the chakras, opens your channel to higher consciousness, shields from psychic attack when it's drawn over the heart. It's used for sexual and physical abuse issues, and it's great for distance healing. And these feel like when you work with them, they feel so inviting and soothing and angelic and just, oh, it's really good. Because it's going to that place where it needs to go. So it's almost like you've been thirsty and you get to drink it in those areas that are really wanting light. But when you do that, when there's a place that's been starving for light and you send a bunch of light there, it might start like, oh, it like turns it on and it activates it. And then you can feel all the feelings that are stored in there as it starts to revive itself. And you have to go through like these layers of, okay, this is where it was disconnected. Why did it get disconnected? And you become conscious of all the things that happened, all the traumas while it's on its way up. And then once it goes all the way up and connects with the light and integrates, you get to receive back what it was meant to be. So when it's broken, you feel broken. Once it connects, it could be something really remarkable, like the ability to have clairvoyant vision, the ability to channel, musical talents. All of a sudden, like your brain might work better. You might be able to go and find love again, all kinds of things, or you might heal a physical issue. So this is what healing work is all about. We're finding these parts and we're reconnecting them to the light. And a lot of that is shadow work. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But when it's broken and disconnected, you don't really know, it's unconscious and you don't really know what's going on. You just have something in your life that's not really working. Yes, Terry?
What did you say about drawing it over the heart? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
It just says it shields from psychic attack when it's drawn over the heart.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so Rama. Rama's a fun one to draw. It's almost like, it reminds me of Wonder Woman. I don't know if you guys remember the old school Wonder Woman when she would like do this, right? So, but it's actually the divine masculine. It just looks like Wonder Woman to me. It's a symbol that symbolizes joy and happiness. It helps to ground in all directions. It cleanses and balances the 6 chakras. It relieves one's chi, or revives one's chi, and creates determination. It's used to manifest materialistic goals. It's used to cleanse and purify crystals. It brings responsibility and heals lack of confidence. It improves relationships. Sometimes people will say that they feel Archangel Michael's presence with this one, and it can be felt, yeah. Some people will say that they feel Archangel Michael with this one. Rama. So we'll go over it again, but just for right now, the spiral goes up the center like that. This one's great, Zonar. And some of you might have already received this. I think this was in some of the other lineages that we did. Okay, so Zonar is really great for healing past lifetimes, karmic, and interdimensional issues. It helps with the initial phases of deep cellular healing. It can be used with Honsha Zeishonin to release all traumatic events at a cellular level. It amplifies distance healing. It helps one access past lives where healing for trauma is needed. It works as a spiritual and emotional anesthesia, hence reducing emotional pain. Dissolving addictions, breaks repeated patterns, and eliminates toxic relations. Heals body pains, relationship issues, epilepsy, inner child issues, especially childhood abuse. Releases shame and unworthiness from the subconscious mind. And a lot of people will say that this is very connected to Archangel Gabriel. Zonar. All right, so those are the energies that are going to come and start to work with you in any areas where you may unknowingly need those. So for the next 30 days, you're going to be experiencing that. All right, does anyone have any questions about the symbols we're going to receive today? No? Does everybody want those energies? Yeah? Okay, good. Which one of these are your favorite, Ray?
Oh, it's either Hearth or Rama, one of the two.
Okay.
Rama's rad. I mean, I know you think it's Wonder Woman, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
I really like Rama. Rama's a great symbol.
Yeah.
But Hearth is so powerful. Feels so good to do it.
Yeah. All right. So shadow work. So what is shadow work? I've already been talking about it briefly, but anytime you do something like get a light activation, a Reiki attunement, it can happen in a sound bath. It could even happen in a massage or a yoga class where all of a sudden something unlocks and you just have all this stuff that comes up out of nowhere and you think, oh my gosh, what just happened there? You know, and you kind of want to go back and find out and call up that teacher and ask them, you know, did you do something? Because ever since I went to your whatever, I've been having all this stuff come up. It happened for me the first time in a cranial sacral class. So it didn't really have anything to do with Karuna Reiki. It had to do with shadow work, right? So healing is all about figuring out what is like lodged in there, what is stuffed down, what is creating this unwanted, unpleasant experience. Now, we are really, really, really good at compartmentalizing our stuff and finding our light and being our best selves and putting our best foot forward and showing up for other people and taking care of business and doing all the things that we need to do. What happens sometimes with that is the part that has stayed compartmentalized will start to become a physical issue because your body's talking to you and your body's trying to show you that you've got something stored there. It's been stored there for too long. And now it's starting to actually act out from the aura, which is your first line of defense. It's starting to act out in the body, goes into the body, right? So the other way that it can act out, it isn't always physical, it can act out, your shadow self can act out in your life, right? Where maybe somebody else will mirror a behavior to you that seems to repeatedly happen in your life. And you're like, how is this still happening? I swear I dealt with this really well the last time that it happened, but it comes back around again. And there it is, that same pattern is trying to show you something about you. And what it's trying to show you about you is either going to mirror something that has happened to you. So like, let's say something happened to you, somebody did something awful to you, and then all of a sudden it creates this energetic imprint in you that never really got healed. So that energetic imprint is still there. And now this other person, like you got out of that situation and now you're in this new situation and they're actually kind of acting the same way that other person did. And what it's mirroring to you is this imprint of the first time that it happened because you never really dealt with it completely. You might have dealt with some of it, but some of it might still be there. There might still be a little bit more that you get to learn from, right? And it may have done something else. It may have created a belief about yourself that isn't necessarily true. So that's one of the ways that it can happen. Like, let's say somebody just was always really mean and condescending in the way that they would talk to you, or talk to you in a derogatory way. And you just developed some sort of low self-esteem around that. And whenever somebody talks around you that way, it triggers this wound, right? So the mirror that's happening isn't necessarily that you are like that person, but it's that it's mirroring a wound that still hasn't healed. Okay, so that's one of the ways that shadow work can happen. Okay, another way is, let's say you used to, act a certain way and you changed a lot. You changed a whole lot. That's not who you are anymore. Now you're this, you've worked through that and you're a different person now. But you haven't really fully integrated the fact that this was actually part of who you used to be, and it hasn't really fully integrated. Like, some people slam the door on their past and they just say, okay, I'm not that anymore, I'm this, right? So the shadow work will be like, well, you just pushed off a whole big part of who you are back there because you decided to change. So rather than integrate, you just actually like rejected that part of yourself because it seemed like that part of you was unacceptable in some way, right? So somebody might start to act a certain way, and it might be a reflection of how you used to be, but that's not who you are now. So you might not see it as a reflection, but it is. It's a reflection of this part of you that hasn't integrated yet. So in the meditation for shadow work, you would be wanting to rediscover that part of yourself that was acting that way, and do what Katie was talking about and forgive yourself for that, and allow that part of you to integrate and to become conscious. Because when it's unconscious is when it's wreaking havoc out there or in your body. When it becomes conscious and you can integrate it and look at it, then that part of you can start to actually grow and change, rather than just get pushed out so that this other part of you could act differently than this part. This part actually has to change, really has to grow and change. And the Reiki is going to send a laser beam to that part to really help you to understand why you were that way, and interestingly enough, one of the reasons why, we have past lifetime issues as part of that is sometimes we have to integrate a way that we were in another lifetime. And when you want to really go through your ascension process and become more powerful, it's important to access the memory from a past lifetime and see, oh my gosh, like, I actually used to be this in another lifetime, and I'm shocked that that was me. That's not who I thought I was, or I can't believe that I was ever that in another lifetime. But if you can actually heal that unconscious part of your soul, and it can create unbelievable compassion. And karuna Reiki actually means compassionate action guided by wisdom. So when we can accept our past and really learn from it, we can have a lot more compassion in our experiences with others. It also makes it so that we don't have these massive triggers trying to get our attention anymore. We understand that everybody's on a healing path and on a healing journey, and that human beings are not perfect, and we don't have to be, and neither do they. And we can have a lot more compassion. And when we go through life that way, it's easier to accept people. And I'm not talking about accepting abuse. That's not something that we need to do, but we have to understand that if somebody is being abusive, that person is very sick. You know what I mean? And maybe we can't rescue or save them. Maybe we just need to understand that that person is sick, and hold space for, we're going to turn this over to the light to work with them. I can't work with them anymore. You know what I mean? Because we don't have to hurt ourselves to heal somebody else, right? So I'm never talking about accepting unacceptable behavior like that. I'm talking about understanding human pain and how people act out when they're in pain. It's a different thing. So what else is shadow work? Okay, so when there's a part of you that's unconscious and not connected to the light. That part of you is the part that usually gets attacked spiritually too. So sometimes people are having like negative spiritual experiences and they think it's something that's happening with the house or with the property or something that's not connected to their process whatsoever, right? A lot of house clearings need to take place during Mercury retrograde, which is when everybody's doing shadow work. There are lots of times where shadow work is a natural thing that goes on. The new moon is like a dark moon. It's a time when we all go inward. That's a time for shadow work. And winter is a natural time for shadow work. There are some funny stories I could tell you about winter and some of the traditions that are built around the shadow work. And I'll tell you one that's just, I love this story. If you look up Siberian shamans, there are shamans in Siberia that dress up and they look kind of like Santa Claus, like they're wearing red, and they visit people and they drop these socks filled with mushrooms down their chimney, like psychedelic mushrooms down their chimney, so that they can dry them on their chimney, so that they can take these psychedelic mushrooms and go on this inward journey to deal with their inner demons or their shadow work during winter time. And you can research this. It's a true story. It's totally wild. And that's a lot of where they gathered information about how to create, Santa Claus and things like that. But it's something that's talked about widely in different cultures, and they embrace it as part of their community and part of their culture, that people have these times. In Southern California, where we're from, it's always sunny every single day. So there isn't a lot of time for natural shadow work. Shadow work is easier to do when it's cold out and there's not a lot to do and you get to snuggle up at home and go inward, right? All right. So oftentimes when people are having these kinds of experiences, they're trying to reject them, they're trying to push them away, they're trying to clear it, they're trying to get rid of it. What you resist persists. What we really want to do is embrace the whole thing, really embrace it. What is this trying to teach me? What is this showing? What is this trying to show me? What is this a reflection of? What is this mirroring to me, right? How can I look at this in a different way? How can I heal this? And who are we asking? Well, you're going to get a lot of help from a lot of these different beings that you get to call on that are part of Karuna Reiki. When you're doing your Karuna Reiki, you can call on them. Maybe you're very connected to the goddesses and you can start working with this aspect of the goddess. Maybe you're really connected to archangels. If you're feeling fear, it's a good idea to call on Archangel Michael. If you're dealing with a wound and a trauma, it would be really great to call on, Kuan Yin or Mother Mary or some of the divine feminine, really loving and nurturing yourself back up. If you're wanting to clear karma, according to this teachings, they're saying that it's really great to call on Archangel Gabriel. Right? If you have major stuff that comes up and it's just hard to identify and you just know that you need clearing, it's really great to call on the Violet Flame and Saint Germain. Right? So oftentimes what is incredibly empowering and nurturing and feels really safe for people is calling on Master Jesus. And he is really, really good at healings. He shows up in here frequently. So I can vouch for that. But it's also a trigger for some people depending on their experiences with religion. So you can work with Jesus in a non-religious way. You can work with Jesus in a religious way. But he's connected to Karuna Reiki according to William Lee Rand. So how you will go about doing that, we're going to do some of that in here today, but to not necessarily all the way through. Okay, so when you come back next month, we'll do a little bit more. When you come back the following month, we'll do a little bit more. Today, we're going to receive the energies, and we're gonna hold space for the energies to go to a specific place in our life that we need most. So everybody, while you're receiving the meditation and while you're receiving the attunements, we're going to set the intention that we're going to ask our higher selves, master guides, we're going to ask the karuna reiki itself to show us an area of our life that is holding us back. And you don't have to know it right away. You have the rest of class and the whole month to start to look at that. And if it doesn't pop up right now and you're in a really good place and you feel like nothing is holding you back and you're unstoppable, I mean, good for you. But when you feel the energies and they start to come in, you might realize that there's even more room to grow. There's always room to grow, okay? And if you are going through a lot already, I just want you to know that you're just already conscious of what's going on with you. And this is just here to support and lift you up and to help you to move through it faster. But we want to be able to identify it, because when we keep it in the shadow realm and we're just manifesting, good stuff over here, you're still staying disconnected from it. We want to integrate it and be able to identify it, because you have to know what it is that you're shifting before you can shift it. There's lessons to be learned in there to shift. Yeah. So if you guys need help figuring that out, I am of course available for sessions, but you are all very intuitive beings and you will have the Reiki to allow you to go inward and just know, see, hear, and feel your way through. And when the blockage comes out, something remarkable comes in. So when you integrate part of what's called your dark shadow, you also get a piece of your light back. And that piece of your light has something that you have always wanted. It might be something that you admire in other people. In fact, the things that you really admire in people so much that they move you in some way and you're incredibly inspired by them are people who are holding a part of what's called your light shadow. And it's a reflection of you too. So the really amazing things that you see in other people are also a reflection of you in some way. Something that you haven't integrated yet. So there is always a gift on the other side of it. It's always darkest before the dawn, right? So does anyone have any questions about what is shadow work? No? So how many of you would say that you've already been doing shadow work? Yeah, to a degree, yeah. Okay, so I've come to find the most relief coming from shadow work. And I'll tell you what, if you are going to do this work for a living, like as a profession, you're always on some level doing shadow work, because the people that come to you are mirrors in some way. So while you're working on their stuff, they're a reflection on either stuff that you've already worked through that you can work through a little bit deeper. And while you're receiving the medicine for yourself, you're also giving it to them, and it works both ways. Spirit brings certain people to you for a reason. The people that really get under your skin though, like the people that really irk you on some level, or even the people that you think you're taking stuff on from, are the ones that are a reflection of your dark shadow in some way the most. So if there's something about them that is really just like gets to you, there's work to be done around that. Why is this person annoying me so much? Why is this sticking to me? Why is this person's energy sticking to me? Well, they're sticking to a trigger. Okay, and that trigger, when you heal your trigger, that energy is just going to go. Okay, and so when people have like gnarly attachments, like really heavy, dark attachments stuck on them, it's stuck to a trigger in their shadow work consciousness. And if you heal that and help that part to become conscious, this is just going to go. It's good to have Archangel Michael with you to help carry it all the way up into the light, using the violet flame to carry it up into the light so that you're not doing it alone. But what your job is as the healer is to figure out what is it sticking to and help that person to see it, help them to integrate it, help to bring more light into it so that it's big enough to where it can now realign. So before it was in distortion, now it's going to realign. And then they're going to feel amazing. This is when miracles happen. So it's also a really great way to manifest. So the Tony Robbins way, or the secret way, is to constantly project this image of success all the time. And a lot of people understand this way. they're also taking, like when you get to work with these people one-on-one, I've found the people who are projecting an image of success, they do have a lot of good qualities, they do. But in order to maintain that image, there's a lot going on, usually. And you'll hear this from lots of different people. My psychotherapist will, you know, when I used to go, she used to tell me those are the people you watch out for the most. Those are the people that have the most going on because they're so disconnected from their process that by the time they finally do get into the healing, they have a lot to unpack because they've been holding this light for so long. And it does mean that this part of their life is doing great, but there's some other part where they're just usually not, they haven't finished. So the other way to manifest is to figure out, like, this energy is swimming along, going to a goal. This energy is going in a different direction and it's creating havoc in my manifestation. I haven't reached this goal yet. Why haven't I reached this goal yet? Well, this is tugging on you. You're trying to swim and this is pulling you in the opposite direction, right? So you can keep doing this if you want, or you can go over here and get this off of you so you can fly, right? And it's not just about getting rid of that. It's about actually aligning that with the part of you that is swimming in this direction. And in order for that to happen, you have to embrace it. If you resist it, it's going to get a bunch of barnacles hanging off of it. It might get stuck on like a freaking ship that's like sinking at the bottom of the ocean and rusty, you know what I mean? And you really won't be able to like reach the top. So the longer you leave it down there, the harder it's going to be to dig that out. So shadow work to me is like this ongoing, I'm always taking my temperature and checking in, and once a day for an hour, I usually sit down with my journal, go into meditation, turn on the light, and start to look for areas that are ready to awaken and move up and be revealed to me in some way and transmute. So I give myself an hour a day. That way I can still clean the house. I can still do other things, right? And it usually doesn't happen, you guys, in one session. And those of you who are practitioners, it's really great to figure out a way to explain that to people. Some people think that they're going to heal their inner child issues in a session with you, which is, I mean, depending on what kind of childhood you had, I mean, that's just not gonna, I mean, it's unrealistic to do that to the person and to you, you know. They also think you're going to do it for them, which you're not. As a healer, you're going to be holding space for them to go in and to discover what's going on with them, and you're going to be bringing the light so that they can connect with the light, right? If you, the healer, is trying to do it for them, guess who's going to take on all that stuff? Right, the healer. All right, so I think that's enough of an explanation. This is a really good time to ask any questions. If you don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and take like a 5-minute restroom break and then come back and do the attunements. Any questions? All right, so we're going to open up our books. We're going to go to page 8. This will be the first one that we work with. This is Zonar. He did a really good job in these booklets. I really appreciate that he offers these for free. As teachers, it's really great to know that you now have a digital file that you can send to your students. It's wonderful. I don't know if you noticed that all of the symbols for all 3 levels are in this booklet, and we're not attuned to all of them yet. Okay, so Zonar, it starts with a Z. So we'll draw it together. And it's 3 infinity symbols in the middle. Okay, and I am seeing that we're going to send this one to Katie because this one has to do with the past life. Normally I'll let you guys choose, but they just immediately said, no, send this to Katie. So we'll say it 3 times. Zonar, Zonar, Zonar. Calling in the last little bit of energy, aligning with the frequency of Zonar. Allowing all the energy that needs to come through for Katie, come through in the next 10 seconds and be complete. Bringing your hands down, visualizing her in a white light, taking a breath. Exhale, go ahead and release her from your aura completely. Turning her over to the Reiki guides. Breathing in white light all the way through your own aura. Exhale and push out anything you might have empathed all the way out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Oh, so nice. I could feel everybody's Reiki. It's really great being over here and feeling all of you turn on your Reiki and I just go, whoosh. I can feel it too, even though we're sending it to Katie. Katie, how was that for you, honey? All right, so we're gonna go to Halu. And I think we'll send this one to Liz. Yeah. Okay, so that's just the next page. I would follow the book on this one because of it's trippy. Ryan, will you hold that up for them? Do you think you can do, I don't know if you can, yeah, perfect. Okay, so you start, Zonar is actually in this. So you start by drawing Zonar, right? 2, 3, so there's the Z. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. And then we're gonna do 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the circle on the top, 11. Thank you. Does that make sense to everybody? Do we want to do that one again? It's a little tricky to draw. One more time. Okay, so it's Zonar, the Z, 1, 2, 3, and then infinity 3 times, 4, 5, 6, and then down towards the infinity 7, up towards the infinity 8, and then we're gonna do the triangle at the top, 9, up, 10, down, and then the circle at the top, 11. Better the second time? All right, so this is gonna be for Liz. Halu, Halu, Halu. Calling in the light to move through faster and stronger. In the next 10 seconds, we're going to ask all the energy that needs to come through for Liz to come through and be complete. Bringing the hands all the way down. Visualizing white light all the way around Liz. Taking a breath in. Exhale, push her all the way out of your field. Breathing white light around ourselves. We breathe in. Exhale, push out all the energy we don't need. Next one, but we're gonna skip to it because that's what they're showing me. So turn to page 14. We're gonna do Rama. We're gonna Wonder Woman Jen here. Okay, so can you hold that for me again? You can do it both at the same time, or I love to do it like this. Okay, but in the book it says you go 1, 2, and then 3, and I go like this. So however you want to do it. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And we'll say it 3 times. And this is for Jennifer Higa. Rama, Rama, Rama. Bringing all the energy in that she needs the next 10 seconds and being complete. Calling in the light to ground and center all the way around her. Taking a nice long deep breath in. Exhale, go ahead and release her from your aura. Breathing white light all the way around yourself to ground and center. Breathing in white light. Exhale, release anything you might have empathed all the way out. There's a lot of power in that symbol. A really great use for this symbol, if you read the books and you go back, and I encourage you to read the descriptions because there's more than what we talked about, but a really fun use for it, especially for people who are doing on location work. Anyways, if you draw it, like instead of drawing chokeres in the corner like you learn how to do in Reiki level 2, if you can draw Rama, and it'll help with grounding the room and releasing anxiety. Anxiety is huge. That's, a lot of people are healing from anxiety. Sometimes we get anxious being healers, going to whatever we're going to walk into. I got a little anxious doing a house clearing yesterday. You know what I mean? So it was nice to know, oh yeah, I can take Rama and just back to center and feel my power come in. Yay. All right. Ryan, you want to share anything?
What?
Yeah.
I'm just playing sound bowls. I'm so lost in this. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
good. All right, so it's funny how spirit lines everything up. I'm like, why does Terry need hearth? Terry's already in a fantastic, loving relationship. And then I remembered your vision that you had about a different way of experiencing love that they showed you in your attunement. So that kind of makes sense, right? So we're gonna do hearth, and this is on page 12, I think. Page 12. Okay. To me, it was pink. I like to ask the symbols what color they want to be. To me, it was pink. So we're going to draw it. Line down, line across, 3, 4 on the left, 5, 6 on the right, and then the circles along the bottom, 7, 8, 9. All right, so did everybody get that, or do you want to do it one more time? One more time, okay. Straight down, straight across. Left side, 3 down like an L shape. Right side, 5 down like a backwards L. And then the 3 circles along the bottom, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to send this to Terry Stanley. Did everybody get it the second time? All right, and it's hearth, hearth, hearth. Opening up and allowing to refill all that needs to come through in the highest good of all concern in the next 10 seconds. Bringing a beautiful ball of pink energy all the way around Terry. Taking a nice long breath in. And as we release, pushing her out of your field, exhale. Breathing in a light all the way around you, golden yellow light. Filling it with white on the inhale. Release on the exhale, anything you might have empathed all day long. But this is the one that they're showing me. And they brought this up earlier and I didn't know why, and now they're bringing it up again. They want me to teach you guys the breath of fire. So how many of you have done the breath of fire before? Raise your hand. Jennifer knows it. Okay. So it's really intense to do. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving our abdomen in and out like this with the breath and breathing really, really fast. And so if you've got something stuck and you need to move it out, in addition to the Reiki, you can actually use your breath to just like bring this up and out. It's not fun having something stuck or lodged in there. It's better to like pour hydrogen peroxide on it, get a massage, get that knot out, get whatever it is out, okay? When it's energetic, how do you do that, right? And this is like a really quick go-to. You don't even need to buy anything to do it. It's free. Everybody has breath, right? So I will demonstrate it and then we'll do it together. And I'll use my hands so that you can see what's happening with my belly. Okay, so a breath in. And when I do this, I'm gonna clench my Kegel muscles, right? So right at my perineum or at the base of my spine, I'm gonna pull it, breathe all the way in, fill up and then clench. And then I'm gonna go, and I'm letting go now with my Kegel. So I clench it first and then I let it all go. And I'm doing, and you do this to a count of 30. And when you're done, you're gonna breathe all the way in and then hold and squeeze your Kegel muscles and hold and count. Some of you might only be able to get to 10, but you can make your way up to 30 and you can practice this over time. And you're gonna hold and then release. And you can do that exercise 3 times and it'll really start to circulate everything. Okay, so we'll do that together. Does that make sense? Does anybody need more clarification? Yeah, and I do it out of my mouth. You can do it through your nose too, if that's something that you need, if you're trying to clear up here, but we'll start with our mouth open. Okay, so take a nice long deep breath in and hold and let it out and push. And let it out and close. So we'll do it empty. This is another way. So you're empty and you're holding for 30. And breathe in and hold, squeezing the Kegel, counting to 30. And if you can't make it to 30, it's okay to let go sooner, but our goal is to hold it for 30. And let go. So I feel like my blood is circulating. I feel a lot of tingles. And my solar plexus feels pretty good. This is also really good for digestion. So oftentimes when things are difficult to digest emotionally, it can get stuck there in the intestines. So if that's happening, a lot of people will shove stuff down and they haven't digested, dealt with their shadow selves, and so they'll have digestive problems. That's a great way to get everything moving again. And then it comes up and you can see it better. Does anybody want to share about the breath work? Does everybody feel tingly? Yeah. All right. So have you done that before now that we've done it together? You guys have heard of that before, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's called pranayama breath work. I'm sure you could find lots of YouTube videos. They kind of sprung it on me, so I haven't really practiced it in a little while, but it's something that I've done a lot in the past when I first started to open up to energy work. Let me see if there's another one that I can remember off the top of my head. All right, so when stuff is stuck and stagnant and pushed down, that can create depression. Okay, so sometimes people, when they start to integrate an old wound, they'll experience some sort of depression, and the depression will become more glaring because it's starting to become more conscious, right? So it's starting to come in, and you're like, oh, okay, this is something that I've been avoiding, and now that it's really here, why do I feel so depressed? Well, that part of you has always been depressed, it's just sort of been back there. We're coming out of depression by becoming conscious of it. So as we're becoming conscious of it, you can draw your symbols and you can send light to that part of you that's been depressed and allow these feelings to thaw out. And when the feelings thaw out, you can feel your feelings, and then you are no longer depressed. Then you get a whole bunch of your own energy back with really great stuff in it that you really want. Stuff for your health, stuff for your life, talents about yourself, things that you just didn't even know, things that you've lost that you're going to regain. It's a really good thing, okay? But it's hard work to do. Okay, so there's the hand positions. I like to just sort of lay down and experience it running through me and have my hands, placed on my body somewhere. Sometimes spirit will come in and they'll just start working on me. And there's lots of really great helpers in the spiritual realm with this particular lineage. And we're just going to hold space for this attunement and this healing process to be with you for the next 21 days at least. This is going to be a permanent attunement. You are all Karuna Reiki level 1 practitioners. My prayer is that you're going to be successful in your healing process, that you're going to access memories, but you're going to do this in a harmonious way at a level that you can handle with the assistance of the light. Okay, so that's my intention. So the other thing that can happen is sometimes you can get angry or heated or have intense anxiety, right? So these are different things that you can feel. So there's something called the alternate nostril breathing that's really, really wonderful for a quick fix if you're in that situation. It's cooling to the body. So when you're heated, this will cool you down. Okay, so if let me check and see if I have. Now my sinuses are clear. If your sinuses are not clear, then go ahead and blow your nose. So just check and see, can I breathe in? Plug up one side of your nostril and breathe in and see if it's clogged, and then check your other side. If there's air coming through, you're good. If there's not, go blow your nose and come back. All right, no one's leaving, so I think you're okay. All right, this one is a little harder to explain. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, you're going to touch your third eye with these two fingers. And then alternate nostril, you're not going to stick this in your nose. You're just sort of like taking the pad of your thumb and you're touching one side of the nostril and then you're switching it to the other side. Okay. So right now I'm plugging my right side and we're going to breathe in through the left. And then I'm going to switch and I'm going to plug the left side of my nostril and I'm going to exhale out the right. Now I'm going to breathe in the right. Switching, plugging up the right, exhaling at the left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. We're going to do this 30 times. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. Inhale right. Switch, exhale left. And we'll just go ahead and stop there. I don't know how many that was, but oh, that feels so good. I feel like I have a really clear head. My third eye feels pretty clear. There's a lot of really great benefits to doing that. How did that feel to you guys? Yeah, so these are extra. This isn't really necessarily connected to Karuna Reiki. This is just helping you guys because you're going to go through a 21-day clearing process. Okay, so that's with anxiety and depression. Okay, so this one's really fun too, and I don't remember what the name of this one is, but this one is for when you feel really tired or drained and you want to like raise your vibration and bring the energy in. Okay, so if anyone knows the name of this, let me know. What we're going to do is we're going to breathe all the way in, and then we're going to squeeze the perineum, and then we're going to squeeze and release and squeeze and release and squeeze and release our perineum, our Kegel muscles. So right at the base of our spine. Like when you have to go to the bathroom and you need to hold those muscles, that's what we're doing, right? And we're gonna pump the energy up from the earth. So you're gonna be bringing that earth energy up into your body. So you want to do this with your spine straight. Go ahead and take a nice long deep breath in, and we're gonna pump for 30. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and release. On an empty breath, squeeze your Kegels again. So you have no breath now, and we're going to count to 30, squeezing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Breathe in and breathe out. So this really gets your Kundalini rising, which goes up the Ignula, the Pigula, all the way up and clearing your chakras out. It's very revitalizing. So that's another way to clear a blockage. All right, so which one was your favorite?
For me, it was the breath of fire.
Fire, yeah.
I really like that one, yeah.
That's a good go-to. Yeah, so we could try that one with the nostrils. We have like a little bit more time. We'll try that one with the nostrils. So we did it with the mouth. So now that we've done the alternate nostril breathing, we know that we're not going to blow snot bubbles if we do this out the nose. Okay, so we're going to do the breath of fire. So breathe in. Oh, wow. And rest. Wow, that one really got me going. Oh, I had to start coughing in the middle of that. Woo. I felt that one really clearing my lungs more. That just hit a different part of the body. The other one with the tummy was more circulation. This one's definitely lung expansion and heart opening for me. Yeah. Which one did you like better, Liz?
I actually liked it through the nose better.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So like, let's say something happens and you're really like in a panic and kind of in shock. You really can't really process it, right? So sometimes shadow work, So shadow work is like this. You know, the universe will send you a whisper, they'll send you a sign, and then sometimes if we ignore that, you know, they'll send you a bigger sign, and then if you ignore that, then they send you a brick wall, right? Like, and so if that's happening, if you haven't been listening, or if you're super in denial about something, it can seem like it's out of nowhere. But if you really pay attention, you'll realize, no, this has been showing itself to me like for quite a while, right? But when that's happening and you just want to stay in denial and act like, I don't know where this is coming from, and you just don't want to deal with it, that's when like the breath work can really help you to work through some of that stuck energy so that you can let in some more psychic information, some more intuitive downloads, right? It's just a way to push out whatever process you're in. Okay. We're going to be doing 3 sound baths a month, I think, right now. So that's another way to do it. And we're also going to be having some more online offerings coming up. I'm still working out a lot of this equipment, but we're here for you, you know, and there's lots of healers, and even in this room, there's lots of healers out there. You're not alone, and you definitely have spiritual helpers out there. So we'll go ahead and close with that. I encourage you to take salt baths. I encourage you to drink water. I encourage you to journal how you're feeling. I encourage you to do self-Reiki. Do some breath work. When you come back, we'll do a little bit more of a dive into the process of shadow work, and we'll do it as a channeling together. And at some point, we're going to learn about toning as well. So this is a really fun lineage. I'm really glad that you're all here. I'm trying to see which symbols we're going to be doing next. Yeah, so next month, we're going to be doing Nosa. Nosa integrates your higher self energy into your body. It's really good for coordination, and it's also good for integration. It's also a good ascension symbol, but it's pretty great for people who are having a hard time, you know, people who are us cosmic girls who really need to learn how to bring our magic into the world, right? It's good for that. It's good for people who want to do a better yoga practice, or it's good for, there's lots of reasons why you could want to integrate your higher self in better. We're going to do Shanti. Shanti brings peace. And, you know, compared to some of these other symbols, this doesn't seem very exciting, but I use this symbol a lot. It's really nice to always, you're always going to need peace, especially through a shadow work period, right? This one is wonderful. This is Iyava. Okay, this one is really good for healing codependency, low self-esteem issues. It's also great at connecting you with Mother Nature and the divine feminine, and it helps heal the ego. Okay, I love that symbol. This one's Kriya. Okay, this is really good for helping with manifestation. It has a really strong balancing of the masculine and the feminine. It helps you to let go of attachments and heals bonds with family, and it's really grounding. So those are the 4 symbols that we're going to work with next month. I hope to see you all back there. It isn't mandatory for you to take all 3, but you've only been attuned to Hearth, Rama, Zonar, and Halu, even though in your booklet, they're all in there. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? All right, so we're going to bring our hands to heart center. And we're going to say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of the beautiful beings of light who came in and assisted us with our Reiki practice today. Repeat after me. We give thanks.
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 To the north, south, east, and west, we release these energies to the 4 winds. Sacred space is now closed. Until we meet again, you guys. I love you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Oh, you're
Bye.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye to you, honey.
Bye.
Oh, bye. I'm in my
I'll see you later. Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.